Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 134 of Photo Critiques. And in this episode, I'm pleased to critique the work of Hasan Akay. Hasan, I hope I pronounced your name close. This first image is really nice. I like it a lot. You did a nice job. We have some blonde-haired models in a very bright background, but you did a nice job of making sure that they were separated from the background. Also, there's nothing growing out of their heads. A lot of times, we as photographers were so concentrated on the subject, we forget about the background. And I remember a long time ago, I was in my friend's wedding, and he got the wedding pictures back, and I didn't know the photographer who did the wedding, and we took them at the Botanical Gardens here in Buffalo, and they had some hanging like lamps and pots and things behind us, and we had these pots sitting on our head. It looked like we had hats on our head. So the photographer wasn't careful to think about what was in the background and make sure that that wasn't like, you know, looking like a hat on our head. And you did a real nice job. Whereas we have this it's probably part of a boat here, but it's blurry enough and it's between these two ladies here, so it's not like growing out of someone's head. So you did a real nice job there, and I want everyone to be conscious of that when you take people portraits. Look at the background and make sure there isn't things coming out of their ear or sitting on their head or anything like that. And Hasan did a really nice job on this image. It's, you know, wedding photography's come a long way. When I used to do weddings a long time ago, we used to line the people up, line the wedding party up, line the families up, and, you know, did these straightforward type of shots. But nowadays it's a lot more exciting. You do all these different things. A lot of people do what they call the Reservoir Dogs pose. That's from the movie Reservoir Dogs, where you have the entire wedding party walking towards you, a little bit of separation between each person, and not all of them are looking at the camera. Some are looking to the side, some are playing with their tie, some got their hand in their pocket, some have their hand, you know, on the back of their head, and they're kind of just all preoccupied with themselves walking towards you. Or you do like they call it the Sopranos pose, where you have them sitting around the table, a table, and they're all, you know, not all of them are looking at the camera. Some are looking away, some are looking down, and just these different types of poses are really exciting in wedding photography nowadays. And that's something I hope to be doing if I get a aspiring wedding photographer in my mentoring program. I hope to help them with stuff like that. It's a nice shot. I like this guy. This is a scene where you have to work. It's kind of, you know, busy here. We have this, it's dark, so we kind of, you know, don't really know exactly what is real here and what's a reflection necessarily, because it's such a strong reflection. And this is a scene, as I always say, you got to work the scene, and I think you did on this shot. And this is really a spectacular shot. Very well done. We have this excellent sky up here, and it's beautifully reflected down here. And it's just a really nice shot. The subject itself in the middle here, it's not overly compelling, but just the reflection in the sky are very compelling and really make up for it. So it's a really nice shot. This is a nice shot too. I like this a lot. I like your the way you framed it. It's a tough shot to shoot because this side is all in shadow and it's very dark, and this side is very bright. You can just tell this is very, very bright over here. And you did a nice job of balancing the exposure. Only thing I could suggest, if you could get back here and shoot this again, it's a real compelling scene with these rocks and you know, just the activity. If you could get a nice sky in here, maybe someday you get it with like some mist, or maybe some other days you get it with no haze in the hills back here, and you get some different looks and move around a little bit and get some different shots. It's a nice shot too. I like this. I like your exposure. I like this this effect here of the sun bursting through the clouds. And we have some nice in-focus foreground elements, really well done. 1/500th of a second, f11, ISO 400, 10 millimeters on a 10 millimeter to 20 millimeter lens. And that helps keep these foreground elements really in tight focus when you're using such a wide angle lens such as that. Really, really nice shot, Hasan. This is a nice shot too. You know, the wolves playing, probably I would assume in a zoo. The only thing I could suggest is when you ever are photographing like animals, I've done this with dogs, with multiple dogs that are real close together. You don't have one like way in the foreground, couple in the background, anything like that, where they're playing. They're in all in tight quarters together. You want to focus on the animal that is looking at the camera. Now these two are not looking at the camera, and it looks like your focus is strongest over in here on this wolf here. This cross-eyed wolf here is the one that's looking at the camera, at least with his left eye. He's looking at the camera. This eye here, I'm not sure where that lazy eye is going, but this is the wolf you want to focus on. The one that is looking at the camera. And this holds true with any animal when there's multiple animals together. So if you had a bunch of cats laying here and two of the cats were looking out the window in either way and another cat is looking right at you, focus on the one that's looking right at you. So in this case, because this one's more in focus than this one, it kind of ruins the shot a little bit. We need this one in tight focus. It's a nice shot, kind of a candid of two men, talking. It looks like maybe some type of storefront. And it's nice. You did a nice job again of balancing the exposure. Very, very bright windows back here. A lot of light coming through. This is a nice scene for HDR. Of course, it's hard with people in the shot. You'd have to use Photoshop and mask them in because you really can't HDR them. They're going to be moving and stuff. But if you HDR the rest of the scene, the lights wouldn't be as bright here, and you'd have a really nice effect, I think, especially in a building such as this with all this like stonework over here, this interesting brick and arches and stuff like that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I talk with my hands. I'm Italian. I hit the microphone once in a while, so I apologize. So anyways, this is a nice shot though. I like this shot a lot because the dog makes it. It's just a great shot. This is another shot which would be a nice shot for HDR. Again, though, you just can't do straight HDR in this type of shot because people are moving, dog might be moving. You're going to have to use masks and just have the HDR part be the ceiling and the walls up here and maybe some of this that way up in here. But other than that, it's a really interesting shot. I like how you got the camera really low. I like how the animal is looking back at you, and it's just a real interesting shot. You're wondering, what are all these people doing here? It looks like it's, like in some type of meeting or something, and it looks just interesting. It's a compelling shot. Very well done, Hasan. And this is, well, I shouldn't say in the meeting. I come back, I see church dogs. So obviously we're in church. I was going to say a house of worship at the beginning, and then I kind of stopped saying it, stopped thinking it, I guess. But it's really cool, really nice shot. And this is a great shot. I really like this shot a lot. I think he did a fine job. I like the just the entire scene. It's really tranquil, very nice. The birds make it, I think, really add to it. And you did a nice job of avoiding lens flare, so that we just have a nice solid sun right here. Just enough clouds to make it interesting, and some different type of birds. We look like we have some type of pelican or something over here. Then we have some, seagulls over here. So it's pretty interesting. A very nice shot. And I think that's the last one. Yeah, it is for Hasan. Hasan, very nice. I really enjoyed seeing your photography. Thank you for sharing with it with us. I really do appreciate it. And I'd like to thank everyone that watches all my videos. I really am appreciative of that. Thank you very much. If you guys have time, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com. I have some all kinds of photography stuff over there you could take a look at. And if you have time, go over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate that. And that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.